Hello, we have Nitro following Fall Brawl, and today's question of the day relates exactly to this. As Team Hogan won last night with the help of the Steiner brothers and Lex Luger, Hulk promised Lex a title shot tonight on Nitro. So the question of the day is, who will leave Nitro as the heavyweight champion? I'm Dave Mack, and let's jump into the latest episode of Playing with the Big Boys with Nitro. So we'll go through the pre-booking here. We've got a few matches just pre-show, just to get people on there. We have the Renegade versus Sabu. Oh, sorry, we should go here. We're in the Mid-South in front of 9,251 people, which is pretty decent. In a decent pre-show match, the Renegade defeated Sabu in 12 minutes to 23 by submission. Still pushing the Renegade really hard. I need to get the television title off him and do some more exciting things with him because Team Renegade wants to get pushed. We've got to sort out his in-ring stuff. He's got a really good destiny role for his in-ring ability, so I want to kind of work on that. There was times when there was a definite lack of psychology on display and a tendency for a drift a little. I gave him quite a long match. Sabu with an in-ring rating of 64 there, really good. That's really positive for a 58, so that's not too bad. And Kimona is the Renegade's manager, so not too bad there at all. Up next we have Jim Duggan versus VK Wall Street, IRS. In a decent pre-show match, VK Wall Street defeated Jim Duggan in 10 minutes and 41 with a flying lariat. Jim Duggan with a 57, VK Wall Street with a 43. For a segment rating of 55. VK Wall Street not particularly happy at the moment because he got beaten by the Renegade a while ago, so he is ultra annoyed. So trying to give him a few wins and cheer him up. But you know what? If he decided to hand in his notice and bugger off, wouldn't be upset. We would not care. Up next, we have Alex Wright and Disco Inferno, a tag team I always end up putting together just because I like the idea of the sort of dancing stuff, against Jake Roberts and the Giant. So this is still a pre-show match. So we've got Jake Roberts, who obviously debuted last night at Fall Brawl, which was quite exciting. Couldn't find a way to get him in the show because it's only an hour long and we had a few other bits to go in there. But in a decent pre-show match, Jake Roberts and the Giant defeated Alex Wright and Disco Inferno in 11 minutes and 2 seconds when Jake Roberts pinned Alex Wright. The Giant was head and shoulders above the rest, which I expected. The Giant got a 76. Jake Roberts with a 56, not too bad. I'm hoping Jake Roberts can do a few bits and bobs and help out a few of the younger talent before he kind of, well, inevitably does something a little bit wonky with drink and drugs, because we know that's where he'll end up. But we got a segment rating of 64 there. And moving on from that, still on the pre-show, we just have a freestyle angle here where Jake Roberts is just saying WCW needs to fear the Dungeon of Doom. So we've got Jake Roberts with Sabu, Raven and the Giant there, just a few people there. So he can kind of boost up some of their stats and maybe pass on some of his wisdom there for a segment rating of 67. So we're going to open up the show. We have Randy Savage. He's going mad backstage. He is smashing things up. He is looking for Miss Elizabeth and Brian Pillman. He's going absolutely crazy. He can't find him anywhere. However, he is ejected by security, and on commentary, Eric Bischoff tells us that Randy Savage has been suspended until further notice. So we've got a freestyle angle there with him just smashing everything up. Got a segment rating of 47. Do you know what? That's really low. I thought that'd have been a lot higher there. We lost some heat on the angle. That's a bit disappointing. Savage was fantastic. He improvised well. Yeah, I mean, it's really good. There's a lot of good stuff there, but unfortunately, yeah, it's just no one else to work off, so it's always going to be a little bit lower, but I was hoping for a little bit better. So, yeah, Randy Savage, again, he's a little bit unhappy because I brought Miss Elizabeth in. He doesn't like that because obviously it's his ex-wife, and this is an angle we're going with here. I keep throwing money at him left, right, and centre, but he's never really been very happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him a couple of weeks off. This storyline's going to rumble on for a little bit longer. Hopefully got a few more twists in it, but we'll give Randy Savage a couple of weeks off, paid. Hopefully that'll make him a bit happier, because if VK Wall Street leaves, I don't care. Randy Savage, I want to keep Randy Savage. I don't want to be losing him, so that's a bit disappointing if he'd go. So we're trying to butter him up and make him feel a little bit happier. Up next, we have our first match, which is Sting versus Eddy Guerrero, and in about that great heat and good wrestling, Sting defeated Eddy Guerrero in 11 minutes and 18 seconds with the Scorpion Death Drop. Sting had an in-ring of 73, Eddy Guerrero with a 70 for a segment rating of 74, which is fantastic. A potential future face turn for Eddy Guerrero was hinted at during this segment. It's been rumbling on for a while, and quite frankly, it is going to rumble on not for too much longer. At the end of this one, Eddy and Sting just have a handshake, a kind of mutual respect. Sting was like, yeah, you went the distance, you done really well there, for a segment rating of 72. Nothing happening there, it was only a couple of minutes long, so it's a nice easy one. Then we have our last night, we had the debut in Steiner brothers up against the Blue Bloods, which is Lord William Regal and Earl Robert Eaton rather, in a superb match. Oh, that's really good. Steiner brothers defeated the Blue Bloods in 11 minutes and 55 seconds with Scott Steiner submitted Robert Eaton for a segment rating of 69. But my goodness, look down here, guys. Scott Steiner with a 73. Rick Steiner with the in-ring performance of 83. Good God. So basically, Rick Steiner absolutely outshining Sting from the last match. Lord Steven Regal with a 78. My goodness, that's fantastic. Lord Steven Regal and Robert Eaton had a tag team bonus, and Scott Steiner benefited from a groundswell of public support. Lots of good stuff there. Surprising here, we've got a lot of good ratings, but the segment rating overall a little bit lower. But you know, we've hit them with some pretty good matches there, so I'm kind of not surprised that that's not worked out kind of how I wanted it to. Up next, we have our matchup with the Road Warrior Hawk and the Nasty Boys. What an odd combination that is, I guess. Up against Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, and Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray, who kind of helped out Arn Anderson last night to win the US title off of Sting at Fall Brawl. So Stevie Ray has kind of injected himself as a new member of the Four Horsemen, because the Horsemen have been looking out for someone, and that's kind of what Stevie Ray's done here. He's kind of thrown his hat into the ring and said, yeah, this is going to be me. So we had an bout that had great heat and good wrestling, fantastic. Ric Flair, Arn Anderson and Stevie Ray defeated Road Warrior Hawk and the Nasty Boys in 12 minutes and 5 seconds when Ric Flair submitted Road Warrior Hawk with the figure 4 leg lock. In terms of in-ring work, absolutely no surprises here, as Ric Flair was head and shoulders above everybody else for a segment rating of 73. Again, really solid segment there. Hawk with an in-ring of 70, Jerry Saggs 54, Brian Knobbs 58, Stevie Ray with a 53. Now those are the three there that I didn't expect to get anything from. Arn Anderson with an 82, and my goodness, Ric Flair, it don't get much better than that. The Nature Boy himself with a 92, unbelievable. That's advanced the tag team title storyline, which makes sense because there's some people here that are involved in that, so that's kind of does make some sense. Brian Knobbs was off his game, which probably explains the 58, because I think he probably could have gone a little bit higher than a 58, I guess. Sensuous Sherry doing some good work at ringside, and Flair benefiting from a groundswell of public support, and he just came out looking good because obviously he is Ric Flair, so why wouldn't he? Following the match, Rick turns to Stevie and says, when you ride with the Horsemen, they don't carry dead wood with them, and it's not an open invitation for everyone to come along. Stevie looks at Booker and tells him he did this for them. I've done it for us guys. We started from the bottom in the hood, and now we've got a chance to make it. Arn turns to Stevie and says, there's no them when it comes to the Horsemen. If you're going to come with us, it's a you. It's an invitation for you only, so you've got to make your choice. So Stevie stands there, he thinks for a moment, he's got Booker T there, he's got Sensuous Sherry, and dun dun dun, he only goes and attacks Booker T, lays him out. Arn Anderson and Ric Flair join in, giving Booker T an absolute beat down there, smashing him down, unbelievable, absolutely awful. You think it's never going to end, then out of nowhere comes Sting, and none other than our boy Eddy Guerrero comes out to make the save as well, and they chase off the 3 Horsemen, as it is, I guess. So they chase off the Horsemen, and we are left with Booker T in the ring with Sting and Eddy Guerrero, who are kind of looking out after him. So we got a segment rating of 71 there, which is pretty decent. Ric Flair looked excellent, as we expected he would. Sensuous Sherry was underwhelming, because she's not particularly great. Flair worked the crowd well, using his freedom to improvise. Yeah, so he got a little bit of mic work there, so that was really good. We've got a couple of changes to handle here. So Booker T, we are going to turn him babyface here. So Booker this is going to be the end of this. So let's turn him babyface, see what happens. Too many of your recent turns have been shocks with little build-up behind them, the fans becoming jaded. This turn has suffered as a result. Oh, I'm sorry, Booker. The turn didn't go particularly well. That's not so great. And we're going to turn Eddy Guerrero, who has been going on a bit for this. The turn was a success for Eddy Guerrero. Yeah, it was always going to be a shock with Booker. That was the kind of point of it. I don't think I've done too many turns recently, so I'm not really sure what that's for, but it's an early game, so do you know what? Sod it. We needed to turn a few heels face, because we've got a bit of a wonky divide as far as some really good heels, but not very many good faces for them to come up against. So yeah, I'm not too unhappy with that. And you know what? This now gives us a really nice, we have Eddy Guerrero, we have Sting, and we have Booker T, and we've got the other 3 Horsemen here. There's a few more twists in this tale to come, I hope anyway, that'll excite people, but I'm excited where that's going to go. And up next we have our main event, which is going to be Hulk versus Lex Luger for the world title, or is it? Yeah, the main event is due to start, and Lex is waiting in the ring. Our champion, the real American, Hulk Hogan, comes to ringside, and he's got a neck brace on following the attack from Jake Roberts last night. He stood in the ring facing up to Lex. Lex is looking a bit confused, kind of like, oh, come on, we can't do this. You're in a neck brace, Hulk. Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful, comes out and he tells us that he's got some wonderful news for you, Lex. He says Hulk Hogan has not been medically cleared to wrestle following last night's attack, so therefore he cannot compete. Lex Luger is declared the winner and the new WCW heavyweight champion by default. There's a kind of mixture of boos and cheers. People don't want Hulk to lose it, but people don't want him to lose it in this way. Lex wants to win it, but he doesn't want to win it in this way, I kind of guess. Lex takes the mic off of Paul Orndorff, and he said he came to WCW because it's where the big boys play, and he's got no intention of winning a title by default. So thanks, but no thanks. And he hands the belt back to Paul Orndorff. Hulk, he's really taken aback. He's absolutely shocked by this, but you can see him nodding and agrees, and he extends his hand out, and we kind of end the show with Hulk Hogan and Lex Luger shaking hands as a bit of a stunned Paul Orndorff is walking up the aisle carrying the World Championship belt. And where do we go from here? Our question of the day is who walks out of here as the World Champion, and it seems that no one is walking out of the World Champion. I'm excited here because I've gone through all of this, and look at this segment rating of 99. My goodness, so close to the holy grail of 100. That is amazing, though. I'm buzzing for that. Our world title, Hulk versus the Dungeon of Doom, has been advanced. Hulk came out looking excellent. Paul Orndorff performed pretty poorly. Perhaps Paul's one mark there off my elusive 100, but I'll let him off because I don't mind. Hulk Hogan was superb working without a script, and he had the crowd eating out the palm of his hand. Lex worked the crowd using his freedom of improvise to his advantage. Orndorff, he worked the crowd as well. Announcing was good. Hogan's got a new catchphrase. He's got groundswell. Absolutely magic. You know, they were creating magic in that ring tonight, and I am over the moon with that. So that is what we end the show on. Post-show, we just have Sting and Eddie Guerrero in a quick 8-minute 59 match against Meng and Raven, winning that one. Again, segment rating was never going to be great, but I just wanted to get Sting and Eddie Guerrero together to see what they can be like and what they can do, because they're obviously going to team up a bit there. So we're going to send the fans home happy, having seen Eddie Guerrero hit Raven with a frog splash. So what's the show rating going to be? We got a 78 last time, and whoa, we are up to an 81. Absolutely buzzing for that one. That's fantastic. We obviously had Hulk Hogan and Lex Luger with the title belt being dropped there, going to a 99. We had some pretty solid matches in there. Maybe a little bit disappointed that Randy couldn't have dragged us up a little bit more, but that is an absolutely magic show there for Nitro. I was going to say Raw. That's an absolutely magic show there for Nitro, so really pleased with that. So that's going to have moved us on there from Fall Brawl. We're now kind of moving our ways towards Halloween Havoc, which should be a good, half-decent pay-per-view, mainly because once we start looking at the events, we've got Halloween Havoc falls on from Fall Brawl. Fall Brawl kind of suffered because I don't think the main event was as strong as it could be. I think Fall Brawl, Halloween Havoc, I think will be a little bit better because I've just got a little bit more freedom to work with it. Fall Brawl, I wanted to include the War Game, so it wasn't so great now, but yeah, we're going to have to kind of move on from our storylines are going to move on a little bit here. So our World Heavyweight Champion is going to be vacated, I'm afraid. So we're going to vacate the title from Hulky Hogan as we go there. So our World Heavyweight Champion is currently vacant. We're going to have to catch up with me in the future very soon, I guess, to kind of work out what's going to happen with that and who's going to win the title and what's going to go on, and how will Hulk respond to Lex Luger helping him out and not taking the title when he could have done, and what's Lex going to do, because you know what, he wanted to win the world title, but he's had that opportunity taken away from him by the Dungeon of Doom, who kind of just duffed in Hulk Hogan. So lots of questions there to answer. Really pleased with that show, really absolutely over the moon with there. Do you know what, quickly before we go, Randy Savage is not very happy, he's very angry, so what we're going to do, we're going to give him a little bit of time off. So we will give him 1 month, no, we're not going to give him 1 month, we'll give him 2 weeks off with paid time off. Are you sure you want to give him 2 weeks off? Yes, I do. So we'll do that. So he's going to be pretty happy about getting that. He's still furious that, like, look at all these bonuses I've given him. He's still furious I hired Miss Elizabeth. But hey, deal with it. Yeah, absolutely fantastic show there. Really pleased with that. There's some really good stuff going on with the roster. We've kind of moved some storylines along there. I know we lost a bit of heat on some, but really pleased. And if you had a guess of who was going to walk out of the Nitro episode as World Champion, I can absolutely guarantee that no one would have thought it was going to be vacated. So hopefully that was a bit of a WCW-esque swerve and a bit of a shock, and hopefully that'll give you incentive to join me next time. We're going to be booking the B show up next, which is going to be main event. Hopefully I'm going to do that as a live stream again soon. I'm going to get back into that routine of Monday Nitro recorded, my main events being live stream. So fingers crossed, if anyone's about, join me for that. As always, if you have any questions, queries or suggestions, stick them in the comments below. Please give it a like, please give it a follow, please give me a subscribe, and until next time, I will see you very soon. Goodbye.